There's a moment that doesn't come with drama. No argument, no breakdown, no big failure that forces your hand. It just arrives quietly. It's that moment when you realize you're no longer becoming something, not in the way you used to think about it anyway. For most of our lives, becoming was background noise. You didn't even have to name it, it was just there. Becoming more established, becoming more capable, becoming someone with direction, with momentum, with a future that felt like it was leaning toward you. And then one day you notice that sound is gone, not replaced, just absent. If that sentence makes you uncomfortable, you're probably who I'm talking to. People realize that this doesn't announce itself. This realization doesn't let you know what's happening. It sneaks up on people who did most things right. People who showed up, who built something stable, who kept going long after the early excitement worn off. And one day you look around and realize that you're still moving, but you're not moving forward. You're not becoming. I don't think we talk about this very much, especially not as men, because becoming is baked into how we measure ourselves. From early on, there's always the next rung in the ladder, a next phase, a sense that if you keep your head down and do what you're supposed to do, the story keeps unfolding. School becomes work, work becomes progress, progress becomes something. And when that something stops materializing, well, it's disorienting. Not scary in a cinematic way. It's just quietly unsettling. What makes it hard is that nothing is obviously wrong. You might have a decent job, a family, responsibilities that matter. From the outside, it looks like you've arrived. From the inside, though, it feels more like we're standing still while the calendar keeps turning. Everywhere you turn, and here's where it gets tricky. We're taught to interpret this feeling as a problem to solve, a challenge to face. Maybe you need a new goal, a new challenge, a reinvention. Maybe you're supposed to hustle your way back into that momentum. But I don't think that's what this moment we experience is asking for. Because not becoming doesn't automatically mean you're failing. It might mean something else entirely. It might mean the old map no longer applies. For a long time, becoming has been about accumulation of lots of things: skills, status, income, proof. There's forward motion built into the system. You can measure it, track it, compare it. Not because you messed up, but because it was never designed to last forever. That this eventually, this version of becoming it, it runs out of runway. No one really prepares you for what comes after that. They prepare you for ambition, for drive, for building. They don't prepare you for maintenance, for staying, for holding. for waking up one day and realizing that most of what matters now, well, it already exists. That realization can feel like loss if you're not careful, because it does sound like stagnation, like you peaked, like the story is over and the rest is just repetition. But I don't think that's true either. I think what's happening is a shift from becoming to something we could call stewarding. And stewarding doesn't feel exciting at all at first. It doesn't come with applause. It doesn't look good on a timeline. It's quieter, heavier in a different way. It's about tending, right, rather than chasing. And that's a hard adjustment for people who were taught that motion equals meaning, especially for us men who learned early on that usefulness and progress were the same thing. If you weren't advancing, well, you were falling behind. There's no category for remaining, for standing still. But remaining is not nothing. Remaining, it takes effort. Remaining means you show up even when there's no obvious upgrade waiting for you. It means you care for things that won't necessarily grow bigger, but still matter deeply. This is the part no one really tells us, that there's a season where the work isn't about adding chapters. It's about reading the ones you are already in more carefully. When you're no longer becoming, you start noticing different things. You notice the weight of responsibility differently. The way time feels thicker, the way decisions echo longer. You realize that some of the choices you make now won't lead to new doors opening, but they will keep existing ones standing. That's not glamorous, but it's real. And maybe the discomfort comes from trying to use old language for a new season, calling stewardship stagnation and calling steadiness boredom, or calling continuity a lack of ambition. Those words don't quite fit anymore. So, if you've felt this quiet unease, like I have, this sense that the becoming narrative no longer applies, I don't think it means that we're lost. I think it means that you're standing in a place that doesn't get much cultural support, a place where meaning isn't earned by acceleration, but by presence. Now, that doesn't solve anything. It doesn't hand you a new plan. And I think it's okay. Because not every phase of life is meant to feel like forward motion. Some are meant to feel like weight, not a burden, but a responsibility. And maybe the question isn't what you're becoming next. And maybe it's what you're willing to carry well. But that's where I'll leave it, not as an answer, just as a place to stand for a while. Because sometimes the most honest thing you can say, that we can say, is that we're still here. And that, for now, is enough.